You're listening to Create Wealth Through Franchising, and I'm your host, Kim Daly. In my 20 years as a franchise consultant, I've helped hundreds of people achieve their dreams of building and scaling franchise businesses to create wealth. The interview you're about to hear can also be found on my YouTube channel, where I post new franchising content multiple times per week. Please take a moment to subscribe to the podcast and to my YouTube channel at kimdaly.tv. Now, enjoy the show. Welcome back to Kim Daly TV. My special guest today is a friend of mine. His name is Michael McAlhany. He is the president and CEO of a company called Units Moving and Storage. Michael, welcome to Kim Daly TV.
Thank you, Kim, and thank you for the opportunity.
I'm so excited to have you here because I know that moving and storage is a bulletproof industry, and you know it. But today we want to share a little bit about why moving and storage is such a great business to be in, regardless of COVID-19 or what's happening in the world. So where I'd like to start the conversation really is tell the audience a little bit about Units Moving and Storage and your point of differentiation in this marketplace.
Wonderful. So Units Moving and Portable Storage was started in Charleston, South Carolina in 2002. I personally was in the fixed storage business and still am to this day. I started in the fixed storage in 1995. And the difference is that we take the storage to the customer, and it makes it much less stressful for them. And we only touch the belongings twice, whereas traditional storage, they would touch it 4 times. Taking it from their home to the fixed storage facility, out of the fixed storage facility, back to their home and their new residence. So we save a lot of stress on our clients.
So you are in what some people may say, wow, he kind of competes against himself. You have fixed storage and portable storage. So why do you do that? Or do you compete against yourself in the same markets?
Yeah, I do. Actually, I fly a banner over the beaches because we live here on the coast in Charleston, and it's 30 foot by 70, Kim, and it's got our big logo. It says Units, and then on the back end of it says never visit a self-storage facility again. And my son, he was 12, and he saw it flying over the beach. He said, "Dad," he said, "what do you?" I said, "Bud, look, people love fixed storage. They love portable storage. We're just capturing 100% of it." So yeah, I mean, I think in the fixed storage, Kim, we don't attract your wine vendors, your Frito-Lay vendors, your mom and pop landscapers, or your mom and pop construction companies. They use fixed storage, but those are the only ones that really don't use our portable storage business. Other than that, we attract all of the portable storage side of it.
Guys, did you hear what he just said? He listed like customers that you probably weren't even thinking about as customers for storage. So why did you first get into the storage business? Why is it such a good business for anybody to be in?
Well, that's a great question. So I started my first business in 1989 in the construction field, a lot of overhead. And in 94, I was looking to diversify. And so I was looking for 3 things: low overhead, equity, and residual income. And lo and behold, I fell.
3 good things, by the way.
Yeah. And lo and behold, I fell into the self-storage industry when it was literally, quote unquote, going out of style back in '95. And just started building facilities. Our first one was in Pawleys Island. Our second one was in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And then started buying up land all within 3 hours, Kim, because I said if I can travel 3 hours, we can capture as much market share as we could. And then once we did that, then expand some more. And so our Pawleys Island facility was a retirement community, and so it's elderly people in respect, and their children were back up north, and so they really had no way to move their belongings or get their belongings to us, and so it was our choices were Ryder, Penske, or U-Haul, which they couldn't drive nor walk up the ramp. And so I started working on a system in 2000, and we finally launched it in Charleston in 2002 called Units Moving and Portable Storage. And then we started franchise. We did so well out the gate that we said, you know what, we can help other people. Not only help other people use this service across the country, but also help people from a franchise sector, plucking them out of corporate America, plugging them into our system and just watching them succeed and nurture them and grow. So we set people up for success. We've retired several multimillionaires after a decade of being in our system, and that's it's just so rewarding. I'm just a firm believer in you help enough other people get what they want, you'll get what you want, and so it's played true to this day.
That's really great. So your franchise business that's been so successful and helped other people achieve their dreams was started because you were solving a problem for your customer in your original business, which was the fixed storage business. How fun is that? What a great story. I never knew that. That's really awesome. So, okay, so with units, is there, so you say you serve the same customer. Do both businesses have sort of that feeling of being bulletproof, or do you see long term one being better than the other?
That's a good question. Early on, we had an in-house broker in 2000. We finally got our FDD. We started in 2005 and finally became compliant in 2007. And and it was interesting.
I won't even go there. We'll just pass right over that comment.
So we were going to the AMSA shows, American Movement Association, and they really didn't want to have anything. We were going to the Self Storage Association shows, the Inside Self Storage Association shows, and they were like shunning us. But now they're embracing us because they see that. I mean, Wall Street talks about storage. You have more and more high end occupations getting in our spaces, particularly the fixed space. Attorneys, doctors, large REITs. Like for instance, Extra Space is $1 billion REIT. Life Storage the same. So these markets grow, and I'm sure in your market that if you've probably seen more and more self storage facilities being built, and most of them these days are vertical, not horizontal. They go straight up, right? Which is a beautiful thing. I love building them and developing them. So I don't see a saturation. I mean, I have some buddies of mine, and I just cut them off, Kim, as soon as they ask, well, Michael, where are all these people? I said, I don't care. I don't care. As long as they put a lock on my door, I'm fine. So I don't care where's. But it seems like the more people, especially domestically in the States, that I found that store stuff, then buy more stuff and store it. So I don't ask the questions.
Our desire to store our stuff.
Right.
Hey, Daily Coach fans, if this franchise sounds like a fit for you, I would love to be your Daily Coach. Email me right now for a totally free consultation at inquire@kimdaly.tv.
Okay, so I meet a lot of investor type people who have the mindset of putting their money in motion and getting their money working for them. And they're saying things like, I'm looking for a depreciable asset. I'm looking for a great tax deduction business. Does storage, both portable and fixed storage, fit that definition?
It does. It does. And right now we have 3 owners, just currently that I'm speaking of, that are building their own facility. So we encourage to get into your first facility. We help pick that facility for them for the first year, 5 years. And then in year 3, we try to coach them into, and we help them 100% into building their own facility from ground up. And in that way, they have an asset, right? It's just like us having fixed storage facilities. So not only you have a vital business, but now you have an asset because you own the land. So we just sold. This is a good story. We just helped our Phoenix location. He was in for 10 years, and he retired very very well off, as I mentioned earlier. And in year 5, he bought his own facility, and so now he's leasing the facility back to the new owner for a lot of money, and so he's making money on that. He made money on his sell, and he's got residual coming in from the warehouse. So, there is an asset play to it, and that's what we try to get our owners to do after the first 5 years to get into their own facility. And then I'll grow that
awesome.
one, build another one, and then rent that one out, and then that one pays the rent for the new one, and it's a cycle, and it just keeps going. It's crazy. It's beautiful.
So, okay, this may be a lob question, but let's just throw it out there. The barrier of entry to mobile storage versus fixed storage. In my mind, it feels like mobile storage has to be a smaller investment out of the gate than fixed storage, but why don't you clarify?
No, it is, and that's one of the reasons, Kim, why our space is so wanted. Quite frankly, I mean, we've got one guy that's got 80 storage facilities. That's a franchisee of units. I mean, because he sees it. He sees that people are going to be storing both ways, and why not capture 100% of it? But the fixed side is, I mean, we just finished a $12 million facility with 670 units, and you open the door and you pray that those units fill up. Whereas with the portable side, you can graduate into it. We start with 120, and then you move on up, and then you can pick your warehouse space as you grow. And then the red tape. There's like when we build a fixed storage facility, Kim, from ground up, the red tape going through the municipalities and zoning and permitting, and that's non-existent with units, because you go into an industrial park, you don't have to have road frontage, and you rent warehouse space, and it's all that red tape's gone. I mean, that's usually at least a year process through red tape to get a facility permitted. And I'd say it's about 10%. So you're 1.2 million with the units franchise. You got to have a net worth of 1.2 million to get a business up and running with 250, depending on your market, 300 containers. You're every bit of 2.2 million, and you're very profitable. And you consider a fixed storage facility. But I'm hearing where facilities are selling for $300 a square foot, which is so 80,000 square foot facility is $21 million, which is good. That's good.
It's pretty good, guys. That's pretty good. High level of investment, but those of you are watching this video who've landed on any of my other videos understand, if you've heard me talk about the money and time are inversely related, right? So a smaller investment of money typically buys a business where the owner is going to be more active in the business, proactively driving that activity. The moving and storage business would be the exact opposite of that. A bigger cost of entry to get into, to build that infrastructure, but then buying that owner back his or her time, right? Because you don't have to be in that moving and storage business in order for it to go, right? So it's that trade-off of money for time. All right, love it. So back to my investors who may be watching this, who love that tax, the depreciation. So is there any differentiation in the depreciable asset from the containers versus the fixed storage? If someone was really looking for the pure tax savings, is one better than the other?
Yeah, I would say the portable side is, because your containers, our life expectancy is 15 years, whereas fixed storage is there for forever, quite frankly, unless it's a act of Mother Nature. So yeah, your depreciable assets on the portable side are way much greater than your fixed side.
Another thing I should mention is that, sometimes entrepreneurs who come to the idea of like, should I start a business from scratch? Like, should I go with a franchise? They may look at a quote, simple business, seemingly simple, like storage, and say, oh, I don't need a franchise, or I don't have to pay fees to go do that. I could just go do it on my own. So what would you say to that after being in this business for so many years?
That's an awesome question. That's a great question. First, I'll tell you that if I could have got into a system back in 2002, I would have done it. Secondly, obviously, we have a national account program. We're engaged with ServiceMaster, ServPro, all the insurance companies. So you get buy-in power. So the minute you open, you automatically have business, right? We also have a buy-in power because we buy so many containers, so we have to keep leverage with our manufacturers. So if you went out on your own, you'd pay at least 20 to 30% more for your containers, because we're buying thousands a year, right? And they're not. Same with our delivery systems. But I think what's really the icing on the cake with this, I was speaking with our franchise who had personal friends of Ray Kroc. He's opened over 80 McDonald's. He owned personally 90 McDonald's. He has a couple You Break It, I Fix It franchises, a couple smoothie franchises. To me, he's a mentor, actually. I mean, I try to get around as much gray as I can because I'm a sponge. I just want to learn. But anyway, so I was speaking with him 2 weeks ago, and he said, Michael, I just want to let you know something. I said, what's that, Mr. Miller? He said, our LDM revenue in August paid my royalties. So we started our LDM system about 6 years ago, and basically that was the whole game plan, Kim, with the franchise. Not only helping the people in the communities get a better product and a better service with less stress, and quite frankly for about the same amount of money, but also being able to take people out of corporate America and help breed, mold them and nurture them and just care for them and get them, drive them to strong EBITDAs, to success, to retirement, but also to help the Miss Smith that's keeping her container here in Charleston, and she gets a call from Bowen saying, I got to move to Seattle, right? And so what were her options? Call United Mayflower Beacon and get them to go to the facility and unload our unit and load it there and then ship it across country. And then when you ship it at United Beacon and Mayflower, it's got to come out of that 18-wheeler the day it gets there. Well, say her house wasn't ready. Say the closing fell apart. So then she's got to go take it from there and go to a facility. Sometimes as long as you're getting touched 6 times. Whereas with units, she calls, says, hey, my Bowen's transferred me from Charleston to Seattle. How can you help me? And we give her a quote. We put the container on a semi and ship it to Seattle for a third of the cost. And that's not in our pro forma. That's an added revenue stream that we added on 6 years ago. And the owners have no skin in the game. They don't pay for the call center. They don't pay for the container. They don't pay for booking it. All they have to do is when the container arrives to their facility is stab it with the forklift, stack it until they need it, and if they need it then they put it on, then they deliver it, and they get a delivery fee as well. Plus, they get a third of our move. So my goal and vision is to have every owner making enough money and more money through the LDM system to pay the royalties. That's a wash completely, and you got a brand that's bulletproof. I mean, it's amazing.
That's amazing.
It was just music to my ears when he told me that. And by the way,
that's amazing.
His royalties are pretty hefty because he's a very one of our bigger franchises. Put it that way.
Hey, Daly Coach fans, if you're inspired by this conversation, I invite you to email me right now to explore this franchise opportunity. My email is inquire@kimdaly.tv.
Guys, are you hearing this? A franchisor who's creating additional revenue streams that cost him money, doesn't really cost the franchisee any money, hoping that this new program will surpass, equal, and or surpass the royalty dollars. Like, so when people come to me, Michael, you funneled enough of my candidates, and I'm sure some of these myths about like how evil the franchisor is. They don't really care about your success. And I stand here on my soapbox and I say, well, that may be true for some franchisors, but not the ones that Kim Daly is bringing to you, right? Like, Michael is an example of the heart and the soul of like the franchisors that I want to bring to my candidates. Franchisors who have strong experience, franchisors who have strong programs and systems and who have a reason for you to help you get up the learning curve of being a business owner. Because even in a seemingly simple business like moving and storage, there is something to be gained by being partnered with experience. And pretty much every entrepreneur who started a business from scratch, they're the easiest people to sell on the value of franchising, right? Because if business from scratch, how fucking hard it is. Mm-hmm. And successful, because most of them don't even succeed.
Yeah.
And then you come to an idea like, Michael's concept where, I don't know what you state as your failure rate, but I know you have a very, very high success rate. And I know that you have some heavy hitters. You've already mentioned the kinds of people that are some of, the franchisees in your system. You're attracting experienced entrepreneurs and business owners to your idea, which, what does that say? It says that there's a reason, there's value to what you're offering to those people that are like out there listening, and you're skeptical about the value that a franchisor can actually bring to you. So hopefully that hits home with you. So I know, like, contrary to a lot of other franchises that I work with, units always is a little more slower and methodical, like wanting to bring in the right people versus like just a lot of people. What is your plan for like moving forward into 2022? How many markets do you even have left open? Do you know?
Yes, we have.
Or do I need to consult Matt Dillon?
Yeah, no, I'm
not the actor.
Trust me, I keep my finger on the pulse. There's a lot left, and then plus we're doing international as well. We've been compliant in Canada since 2012. It drives me crazy that we're not there yet. Matt and Damon really they know how I feel about that. And we just engaged with Doug Wong, who's helped put Denny's on the map in other countries, and so we have in-house counsel, Patrick Autry, who helped Nine Round put them in 20 different countries, and so I am very bullish about getting built out domestically, but as well as internationally on several fronts. One is internationally, our business in general, just storage, is an incubator stage. I mean, it's just not existent. So that's one good thing, and people need that service. And then secondly, if I can create an environment that positions leverage, which is manufacturing 15,000 containers a year over 5 because we're international now, I'm all about leverage. I'm all about having the upper hand on our manufacturers, and those are the reasons. As far as growth plans, you're right. We had a competitor that came from the background of Century 21, and they were very good at franchising, really, really good at franchising, but not good at supporting their owners. And we're not about setting people up for failure. We're about setting people up for success. And that's why our organizational chart is so packed with so much talent, because I've always believed in paying it forward, and we still do that to this day. So in 2020, our goal was 12, and we did 14. And in 2021, our goal was 12, and we're at 19 right now. And our goal in 2022 is going to be 12 in 2 countries. Michael, why are you stuck on 12? It's just, that's the number. It's not who can breathe fog on a mirror. It's who we can put in that market and place a quality candidate in that market that we know that we can work with. It's really about the quality of the people, because look, life's too short to deal with people that don't want to plug in. So they know up front, because I set a pretty standard that you plug into the system, you stay plugged into the system, we remain positive, we can do it attitude, and we pound that. That's our culture. Our culture is all in, and we pound on the first time, any speech I give, first thing I go over is our mission statement, our code of values. Our owners are probably tired of hearing it, but I don't care. That's our foundation, and that's what we build on.
So what is the definition of this perfect candidate for your process, or that would go on to become a franchisee in your system?
Well, first of all, good clean background check, right? Second of all, financially qualified. But one of the things that I go over Discovery Day, and it's the biggest part of my presentation at Discovery Day, Kim, is I used to say I believe readers are leaders, but my wife said, Michael, that might be abrasive. How about I'm of the opinion that readers are leaders? So I'm of the opinion that readers are leaders. So I was reading this book called The Ideal Team Player, and it's a business book, a very good business book, by the way. And I was flipping through, and there was a Venn chart on one of the pages, and it had 3 circles, and in the middle, all 3 circles met each other. And so it was hungry, humble, and smart. And so I said, wow. I mean, it just stuck out like deer in headlights. And I was like, wow, I'm going to go to my businesses and I'm going to see who has these traits. And in the book, a new CEO came in to take over a company who didn't know that industry is a big construction industry. And they had a big project to do, Kim, and he needed to hire a superintendent, and all the seniors that knew of a superintendent for him to hire. And he interviewed him. He didn't hire him, and they said, "We got to get this project done. Why didn't you hire him?" And he said he didn't meet the qualities. And they were like, "You're not going to find anybody like that." And so, in the end of the book, he did, and the company, excelled and all that. So not only do anything that we ask of somebody, we lead by example.
Hungry, humble, and smart. Other things that the Daly Coach also has said in many other videos on this YouTube channel. It's so great. Guys, this is what you're looking for. I stand here on my soapbox and say, when you buy a franchise, when you invest in a franchise, you are not buying a widget. You are not buying a brand. You are buying leadership. Period. So on that note, let's go ahead and say, if you are interested in this business, please leave a comment below, or you can email me, Kim at the Daly Coach. Give me the opportunity to do the pre-qualification with you, to help set your expectations, to make sure that you're financially qualified, to make sure that where you live or you would want the business to operate is an open and viable market for this concept. And then I'll bring you back to Michael's team, who will begin the education process with you. Michael, do you agree with that?
I agree 100%.
Thank Thank you, Michael, for joining. It's fun to actually see you face to face after exchanging so many emails. Thank you for joining us here on Kim Daly TV. And until next time, everybody, I am Kim Daly, and I want to be your daily coach.
If you found this inspiring, please contact me at inquire@kimdaly.tv. My consulting services are totally free to you. Again, that email is inquire@kimdaly.tv. I can't wait to hear from you.